Hi, this is Amber and I'm back with another video, except this is sort of about products, but not really. Instead of being about different products like I've talked about in some of my other videos, this one's more about just one particular product, a book that I read that I felt like I should talk about because I felt like this is a really good book and definitely worth the price. I think I paid like $15 for it, or so. I found it on the internet, so I might have paid a little bit less, and I got it in paperback, so that made it cheaper too. But it anyway, the book that I want to talk about today that I read that I think would be useful to pretty much anybody, especially vegans or people concerned with their health, the animals, or the environment, is The Kind Diet by Alicia Silverstone. I know what you might be thinking, like, oh, that's that girl from Clueless, what does she know about this? But there actually are a lot of, there's actually forewords by Neil Bernard, MD, which is doctor, and there are a lot of doctor testaments, and, a lot of the stuff she says is backed up by professionals with the information. Not to mention, I've been trying most of the things that she said in this book, and like I could say is, it's not just a fad thing. Like, it's more of a lifestyle change, kind of like being vegan is, but it works. And it says on here, for years Alicia Silverstone has extolled the virtues of a plant-based diet, both for the remarkable effects it has on our health and well-being, and for the enormous impact it has on the health of our planet. Not to mention animals, but anyway. Now in her number one New York Times best-selling book, she shares the research, the recipes, and the daily routine that have helped her achieve her very best self. Slim, clear-eyed, and full of healthy energy, and relieved a host of symptoms from mild to serious and countless others. And I'm gonna say, just even the style this book is written in, it's so much about not only about loving yourself, it's not just about loving the animals and the planet, but really about loving yourself too. Many times she mentions like the word goddess, like treat yourself like a goddess, and I really like the approach that comes from. I believe the demographic for this book may be more towards women. Probably it kind of feels like she's writing to a woman, but I'm sure it could be helpful to anybody. The approach I like too, because it starts out, there's 3 stages, and you can be a flirt, which is just for somebody. This is good for if you're trying to get somebody to consider being vegan or be more open-minded to it, to have them read this, because the flirt stage is all about no commitment. You're not saying I'm going vegan. You can still eat animal products sometimes if you want, but it's more about flirting with a vegan lifestyle, trying different things, exploring things, and then seeing if you like them, and then maybe thinking a little bit more about being more conscious about your choices, stuff like that. And then there's obviously vegan, is the other stage, where you're just completely omitting animal products from your diet altogether. And she talks a lot about that too, and I found it very relatable because I'm vegan. But the third stage, which is actually something I've been kind of leaning more towards now, that I never thought I'd actually do, but is the superhero stage. And that stage, you're pretty much eliminating processed foods. You're making all your own stuff. It's more based on whole grains, fruits, vegetables, really good real food, beans, and talk about how you get all your nutrients, and how it makes you feel a lot better even than, say, just a regular vegan diet where you might still eat, like processed, vegan cheese or whatever. And, I'm not gonna lie, I love my smoothies, my fruit smoothies, and I do use soy milk, almond milk, and coconut milk for those on a regular basis. I love my vegan sour cream for many reasons. It's great for tzatziki sauce as well as on rice and beans, stuff like that. But other than that, even when I make my rice and beans, this inspired me to quit buying the canned stuff because I realized that it has all these added ingredients, including ridiculous amounts of sodium, and making my own beans. But anyway, just the whole approach of this book is so good, and she's so real about it, which I like. Like, you could tell that there's a lot of passion behind it, and they even give examples. Like, there's different quotes throughout the book that you might think, that's kind of interesting. I never knew that person said that. Like, there's a quote from Gandhi in here, and just some different people as well as examples of people who have done these things and succeeded. Try to find this example here. Here we go. You may or may not be able to see this. I'm not doing very good with this. Dude's totally muscular, and he's vegan, and he's an athlete. And just examples to show people that this can be a really healthy way to be, and that you can feel so much better. And to also focuses, which I like is a different aspect of it, on curing diseases or reversing diseases and just making yourself healthy or healing yourself from the inside out. Like, instead of taking an aspirin when you have a headache, drink some tea with different ingredients in it, or instead of just relying so much on synthetic chemicals and medicines to throw at problems, to get to the root of the problem, figure out why the problem's there in the first place, and the cure is in the food, is in what you're putting into your body, how you're nourishing it, what you're feeding it. And I really like this concept, and honestly, ever since I'm kind of tossed between vegan and superhero. I'm always vegan. I'm superhero probably at least half of the time, but I would like to say more like these days, probably about 70% of the time superhero and the rest vegan. But I have been feeling really, really good. I actually just quit smoking cigarettes after 13 years. This is my 4th day, so not quite there yet, but I threw out all my cigarettes and don't even have the option to smoke, like, here at home anyway. And I really think that this really clean lifestyle has helped, and I've had so much more energy to exercise. And she also does talk about, the animal cruelty behind. She names the 3 nasty foods, which are meat, dairy, and refined sugar. And especially with meat and dairy, she really goes into about how cruel it is to animals and how it's not really right, and also talks about the enormous impact that it has on the environment, and how just all the land, all the resources being used to raise cattle and all these other things are negatively impacting our planet, and how once the rainforests are gone, they're gone. They're not just going to come back and reappear, and we need them just to sustain what we have. Anyway, but I really, really love this book, and I think it's a great thing for anybody to read. And there's also recipes in it, which I've tried some of them. There's a section of vegan recipes and a section of superhero recipes. And while I make some of the vegan recipes and some vegan I already have, I've been experimenting with a lot of superhero recipes as well. And some of this stuff is actually really good, and stuff that I would have never thought of on my own. For example, well, I knew about this, but this is how the easy way to make it is it talks about butternut squash soup. I just made my first batch of homemade butternut squash soup. No additives, no preservatives, no ingredients, completely all natural. I know exactly what's in it because I made it, and I put all the ingredients, started from scratch. It's actually really easy. I never thought I'd be able to do something like that easily. Let me see here's one, which you may or may not be able to see. It's braised daikon with mirin and shoyu. And it sounds kind of crazy. I've never even heard of daikon. And I got a chance to, when I was at the international store, I got some, and I made this recipe. Oh my god. It is so delicious. I never even knew that stuff like this, like it's really awesome. And there's desserts too, so you're not feeling deprived. Anyway, for the record, I don't know Alicia Silverstone personally or anything. Nobody's paying me to do this. I just feel like this book has helped me change my life more for the positive, even from where I already was, knowing I wanted to be vegan for the animals, but to actually really be vegan for myself too, and feel good about that. It's so amazing how the same things that are good for our health, the environment, and the animals, it's all the same things. So I'm a believer, and I think that this is a great idea, and her ideas in here are good. So The Kind Diet, not a waste of time, super easy, super fun read, very, very fun and entertaining to read. Lots of colorful pictures and quotes and stuff to keep you interested. So yeah, that's my thought for the day. If you read this book, you will not be disappointed. Okay.